Joined tonight by Kelsey Griffin from Eagle River, Alaska. How does a kid from Alaska get interested in playing basketball? What is it like to grow up there as a young girl?
Well, a lot of important people have gone into my basketball career, and we'd be here all night if I was thanking all of them. But, you know, a lot of coaches, teachers, parents. The best thing about Alaska is the community. I think that the community that I grew up in Eagle River, it's an eclectic group of people. You know, they come from all over, whether it's military, people just trying to find out what the great up north is about and all that kind of stuff. And so being from there, it's definitely something I take pride from, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
But you don't have an accent like Sarah Palin.
No, I really think hers is Minnesota. I don't know where that accent came from. I do not know.
Well, how did you end up at Nebraska? You know, why did you decide to play there?
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy story. I really had no idea about college basketball. Needed a lot of help making the decision, and actually a couple people went into it. Carl Waters, who was a dad of the team that I was on, and then Jody, the coach from UAA at the time, which is the Division II school in Alaska, came together and helped me narrow down my choices to Michigan State, Arizona State, and Nebraska. And I went on my visits. I had no idea when I went to Michigan State that they had been in the Final Four the year before. So I was like, oh my gosh, Mom, this team's really good. Like, I can't believe they want me. Like, I had no idea. I didn't know what the Big 12 was. I kind of knew what the Pac-10 was at the time. So I knew about Arizona State, but it really came down to just kind of fate led me to Nebraska. There were some scholarship issues at some of the schools, and then pieces kind of fell into place, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to Nebraska, and that was it.
You might not have known what the Big 12 was, but they learned about you pretty quickly. You had a terrific career at Nebraska. During your junior year, your father was diagnosed with cancer. Mm-hmm. How did his diagnosis impact you as a person and you as a player?
It actually was a huge learning, growing experience for me. Being away from home was something that plagued me really big my freshman year, homesickness. But I'd finally kind of gotten over that hump. But then being so far from home with him going through what he was going through with was really hard. And we had to have a heart-to-heart about it because I was really ready to go home and help him. And he was like, Kelsey, what are you going to do for me that these doctors aren't doing? And so it was at that time that I kind of had the freedom to know that I was at the right place. I was supporting him the best way I could. One of his favorite things is to watch me play. And so knowing that I was doing the right thing by doing that really helped me in that season, as well as realizing there's so much more to life than basketball. And missed layups, even though your coaches might tell you are the worst thing, that isn't the worst thing in the world that can happen. And so it let me play with a new freedom and a new reason to play basketball.
And he's here tonight. He's getting a chance to watch you play basketball.
He is, which is great. You know, I love it. It's so much fun to have someone. I mean, I have a lot of people cheering for me in the stands, but, you know, to have him all the way from home to come means a lot.
Number 3 pick a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. You know, we talked about your great career at Nebraska. What was it like going from college basketball then to be here with the Connecticut's on your first year?
It's definitely been the biggest transition in my life. You know, high school to college really wasn't that hard of wasn't a hard basketball transition for me. I didn't really have high expectations of myself. I was under the radar, everything. And so then coming in at the 3rd overall pick, which is something I never thought would have happened, I came in with all these expectations, like, you know, Asia was 4 overall. Like, oh my gosh, I have to play like Asia, or Tamika Catchings, you know, like she was right there. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to play like these players. Like, and I really didn't cut myself enough slack that first year. Also being drafted with Tina Charles didn't help out much because she's a freak of nature and was just tearing it up and has continued to. And so it was kind of a huge learning experience for me, but also a great opportunity. And so to kind of figure out if I'm going to play a 3, 4, that was difficult. But then now to be at the point where I'm a basketball player, that's where I am on the court. And to not really get caught up in what I'm supposed to be doing as far as position, well, 3 does this, a 4 does this, and to get all head mental on myself, but to just go out and play really has been the lesson over the last 3 years that I've really taken from this.
Well, you've been outstanding, especially since the Olympic break. Injuries to Asia Jones, Misty Mims goes down. It's been so helpful for this team for you to step up the way that you have. You must feel pretty good about the way things have been, especially since the Olympic break.
For sure. Thank you. Yeah, for sure. You know, I'm a hard worker. It's something I take a lot of pride in is my work ethic and what I bring to the court. A lot of hustle plays, you know, getting down and dirty, diving for loose balls. And so, you know, for the hours that I've spent in the gym and the hours of extra work I've put into my game, for the fruits of those labors to kind of show over this road trip was very nice.
Well, they definitely did. You're a player that if parents are watching, telling their kids to watch somebody how hard they play, it would be you. Thanks so much.